Welcome to the commentary booth where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps. Each week I am joined by a rotating cast of colour commentators to help you find your next view. This week I'm joined by a teacher who lists their favourite movie as the entire Harry Potter series and her favourite TV show as Parks and Rec. Making her long-awaited return to the show, welcome back, Leigha Poulton.
Hey, how you going? Happy to be here.
How's life been treating you? How's the new job and lockdown and all of that fun stuff?
Well, the new job is really good. I really like it. Definitely the travel's killing me. I'm doing an hour and a half each way, although now it's lockdown. I don't have to travel. So I'm teaching from home, which is very different.
Yeah, that's one little benefit, I guess. No travel.
Yeah, definitely. That is a benefit. And I mean, yeah, it's less pressure on me doing teaching from home because I'm teaching a lot out of my subject area. So I have other teachers able to plan some stuff. So I'm just checking in with the kids really and seeing how they're going. So I can't complain. Life's pretty good.
That's nice. And how's Piper and everything going? The puppy?
Well, Piper is loving having mum home every day. So she's pretty sick of going for 2 walks a day.
She's in that lazy, I don't want to do this puppy stage.
Yeah, at the end she's like, nah, last walk, no thanks, mum, don't want to do it. So she's pretty spoiled. She's been going to daycare once a week just to have something different because she just gets bored of being in the house. But
We been watching a few movies and TV shows and stuff during the lockdown and everything. Checked out a new one this
definitely,
week.
yep, the Cinderella movie.
Yep. What did you think of that one?
Okay, I was definitely apprehensive. I thought I'm not gonna like it, and then halfway through, I was just like dancing and singing. I actually really loved it. What did you think?
So yeah, I was going in like not entirely sure what to expect. I was thinking be another typical Amazon remake.
Yeah,
Like it kind of is. It kind of is just a pretty standard Cinderella tale, but I think the music lifted it to a level.
the music for me was just the best part. I think because it was like modern, but it had all those remixes together. So even sure, my husband hates musical movies, absolutely detests them. And at the end, he was just like, "That was actually really good. I really enjoyed that." So I definitely think the music lifted it, and the costume. I think my favorite scene was the ballroom scene.
Yep.
I mean, it had all those beautiful ball dresses. That was probably like my favorite. I just loved it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, same. Like you said, that ballroom scene with the costume is really cool in terms of like representation for so many different cultures as well.
Yeah,
What did you think of Camilla Cabello as the main character?
I actually think she did a really good job. 'Cause she hasn't done many movies, right? I don't think she's
No,
done many.
she's
Yeah,
mainly like singing and the voice and stuff like.
yeah. I actually think she handled it really well, and her voice is obviously amazing. So I can't complain about her. And I actually think she's probably the best voice of the whole movie. But I would say the stepmother was also a very good voice.
Yeah, Mini Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
No, no, not her. The other one, the actual evil stepmother. Isn't that the other one?
Yeah,
I forget her name, but
yeah,
she was good.
yep. What did you think of James Corden and Pierce Brosnan?
I enjoy James Corden's like carpool karaoke, but to be honest, I don't think his humor landed for me.
No,
I was kind of like, nah, not like he's just too like and not real for the
yep,
part he was playing, was my opinion.
yeah. Like admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of him. In general,
Yeah.
uh, Corden, do we need James Corden in musicals and stuff
Yeah.
like that? So, thankfully, he doesn't play like a huge part. He's just one of the so it's not like he's constantly on screen. He's
Yes.
only in there as
A supporting act,
his
really.
physical self for few minutes, like
Yeah.
max. The rest of it's all server. And we mentioned the music. What songs did you pick up listening to it?
I forget what the song of the ballroom scene was, but I had the two songs mixed together. I loved it. Why my only thing with the music is why would they do Let's Get Loud as the finishing song? That annoys me. I don't like that song. I
You
was
don't
like
like
ready
that
for this
song?
like no, I hate that song. I hate it. I think because I'm a dancer, I've heard it over and over. I mean, yes, it
Yep,
was a different version, but I was just like, Ricky Martin, come on. Really?
it's J
I
Lo,
thought they
isn't
could
it?
have chose. Oh, is it J-Lo?
Pretty sure it's J Lo.
Yeah, it is J-Lo. I didn't like it. Not about it. Nah.
Yeah,
But
but
every other song was actually really good.
oh yeah, like there's so many tunes in here. They've got some of the ones I found were "Somebody to Love" by Queen,
Yes.
pretty early in the movie. "Material Girl" by Madonna's in there with a
I love
remixed
that
version. That
one.
one was cool.
Yeah.
"What a Man" by Salt and Pepper pops up,
Oh, that was the best. What a man. Yeah. And then they had the cello going. Oh my God, so good.
and then she smashes the cello. I was like, "That's an awesome
Yes.
moment."
Yeah, that was cool. You can definitely see it being brought to the stage for sure.
Yeah, that's sort of the vibe I got, where it felt very sort of Hamilton, just in the Heights, like sort of
Yeah.
those ones. It felt like it was produced for stage and then turned into a movie,
Yeah, I feel like
going
that
the other
too.
way around.
Yeah.
Some of the other songs were "Seven Nation Army" by the White Stripes. That was
Love
the
that.
one mixed with "What a Man."
Yes, that's probably my favorite. I was like, I would buy this album for that song, that one song.
hmm "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran, and then finishing with "Let's Get Loud." But I thought it was a really cool way to do it. Like I wasn't expecting any of those songs and that sort of music. I was like, oh yeah, this is just going to be. I didn't even realize it was going to be a musical. I thought, okay, it's just a run of the mill Cinderella story, and then it's at first, like I think it was "Somebody to Love." That first song, I was like, hang on a second, they're
The different
remixing
take.
like popular music, not just creating their own songs for.
I think that's what really engaged me though, because you knew the music, so you were like, sick, I can sing along with it. But then also they had all the remix parts, so it was original as well.
Mhm.
Mm.
Storyline wise, it was sort of a pretty run of the mill Cinderella tale. Apart from sort of rather than her wanting to fall in love and get out of her life that way, she was like, no, I want to be a dressmaker and I want to be able to live, control my
Support
own
myself.
destiny. That
Yeah.
was a cool, like, women's empowerment message. In
And it was a different take on the stepmother and the evil stepsisters. They weren't really that evil. They were just kind of a bit self-absorbed.
yeah, and sort of just stuck in the old fashioned
Yeah.
women get married, women do this, that sort of thing. And then Cinderella was, no, I want to do something different.
Different. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. And so, yeah, that's that one. And another movie I watched, funnily enough, with J Lo.
Yeah.
I checked out Hustlers on Netflix now that it's now on there.
Yeah, cool. I've seen it, but a long time ago, so they might have to refresh me.
Yeah, so it's a 2019 movie, comedy, drama, crime, starring Constance Wu, Jennifer Lopez, Julia Stiles, Lizzo, Cardi B. Nice little cameo by Usher as well. And it's all
Cool.
about like strippers that they form this little gang who basically drug stock traders and bankers and stuff that come into the club and then run up their credit cards and steal their money that
Perfect.
way.
Hustle.
Uh, and I found out it's based on like a New York magazine article. Didn't realize it was
Oh,
a true story take. I thought it was just like a pure fiction story. It's based on actually happened.
that's cool.
And you mentioned you've seen it. What did you think of it overall?
To be honest, now that you're saying that, I'm thinking it was the other movie where J-Lo's the boss when she's not supposed to be.
I don't know. But she is kind of
Yeah,
the
I
boss
don't
of this gang.
right. So I'm thinking of the one where she's like the big boss of like the perfume company and she goes, I can't remember what it's called.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah,
I don't
that's
think
the
I have
boss.
seen it.
It's like I enjoyed it. It was fun, and
Yeah.
it was cool to see like those cameos from Lizzo, Cardi B. J Lo
Yeah,
is
that's really
incredible. Like I think this is her best performance I've seen her actress.
oh wow. She is pretty talented though, the old J-Lo.
And for how old is she? 52.
She
Still looks
looks
pretty good.
amazing. Yeah.
Still looks pretty good. Especially
Yeah.
like there's a scene where she has like her solo dance routine. The outfit she's wearing in that. Wow.
Yeah.
She comes
Okay.
out and you're just like, oh, yep.
52. I want to know her secrets.
Just hit her up. Slide in the
Yeah.
DMs. Jayla, help me, help
Exactly.
me. So I was reading up that she apparently did 2 months of pole dance training before even filming it because she wanted to
Wow.
be able to nail that dance routine without like any sort of stand-ins, body doubles.
You have to be pretty strong to do pole dancing, to be honest. I did like one beginner's class. Have no upper body strength whatsoever. So I understand why she would want to do that because it would have been tough.
Yeah, and she nails it. Like she does really well in the dance scene. And yeah, you get Cardi B admitted to being a stripper in the past, and
Yep.
apparently she even drugged and stole money from some of the men that came into the. I think she
So
was
she's
the perfect
speaking from
fit, like
experience.
almost the inspiration for the movie. And Constance Wu, who's like the sort of the central figure, is taken under the wing of J Lo and taught the
Mhm.
ropes and everything. Apparently, she went undercover as a stripper to sort of get a vibe for it and learn some of the tricks and stuff before filming. And says she earned $600 in her very first night doing that.
Method acting.
Not bad. $600 a night. I think it works out to like
That was
150 something $1,000 a year.
wow.
And apparently, like, I'm not sure how factual it is, but they deliberately don't use any songs by J Lo, Cardi B, or Lizzo because it's just these three promoting themselves,
Themselves. Yeah.
which I think does help. Like it heightens it up. There's with the Usher cameo, they're playing his songs, so that makes sense. Everything else, like, no, we're just telling this story, and these are the people that happen to be in a
Them.
vehicle for them to be like, hey, look at me, I'm still relevant.
Okay. Does Cardi B still have that voice? That really whiny. Just listening to her talk makes me laugh.
Yeah, a little bit. It's the standard Cardi B voice. She comes out in nipple pasty things. You're like,
Yeah, of
whoa,
course.
holy dolly. Pretty full on movie at times. And again, it's all about that women's empowerment read and how it can take over some people.
Definitely. I've read a few books about the old stripper life and how they just extort it because they see it as a business. Men
Mhm.
think it's like a real thing, but they're like, no, I'm faking it to steal your money.
Oh yeah, like definitely the hey, we love you. And it's like, no, you don't. You
No, you
just
don't.
want you just want me to hand over bulks of cash.
Oh, that's
Which,
right.
from the sounds of it, $600, not a bad
Yeah.
effort. And the film has earned a lot of money as well. It cost them 20.7 million,
hmm
grossed 157.6.
Oh, good on them.
It's a good effort, and it was filmed in a. They filmed the whole thing in 29 days.
Wow.
They smashed it out. The parts with Lizzo, Cardi B, and Usher were done in 3 days. They're busy, still very active
Obviously.
musicians, so they
Yeah.
knocked their part out, and then the rest, the 26 days later, and it was done.
That's awesome.
Really good movie for less than a month of production.
It's cool.
What else have you been checking out?
What about Cooking with Paris?
Yes, have you learnt any good recipes?
I Look, it is the most ridiculous thing I've ever watched, I think. Like, it's just so ridiculous, but I actually loved it. I really enjoyed it. I like that she had a theme for each episode,
Mhm.
and she's just so over the top, but it just works some way. Like, it's just,
Over
I
the
love
top.
the,
That doesn't sound like Paris. What are you talking
oh, of course it is. I
about?
mean, look, I wanted to hate it because it's just a Paris thing, but I was like, nah, I actually really enjoyed it. My mum came over because she's in my singles bubble and she was like, this is ridiculously up, but I'm actually really enjoying. She has like the diamante plated like spatulas that don't even work. She doesn't even know how to turn on certain machines. She's never heard of certain things. And it's just so dumb, but it just made me laugh. And some of the stuff actually looked really good.
I wonder how much like help she had in terms of
Oh,
formulating the recipes and cooking them.
I think she definitely needed a lot of help. I don't think there was much going on. I reckon she'd probably never cooked a day in her life before this TV show.
Yeah, that
That's what
that
it
wouldn't surprise
seems.
me at all.
And it's really funny. The last episode when she has her sister and her mum come, I've seen her mum on Real Housewives. So she's in the new season of Real Housewives of forget it's LA or something.
Yep.
And her mum doesn't cook either. Her mum's like cleaning stuff with spatulas on the floor. Like it's just they obviously have no idea. Like they just live that privileged life. But
Use your cooking utensils on the floor.
I know. And her sister's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I don't know. Use something." So I don't know. I found it really entertaining in terms of I love her outfits. I loved that she had no idea what the hell she was doing, which is kind of like me in the kitchen. Um, the get the guest stars were actually pretty interesting. So I found Kim Kardashian's episode was pretty good because she's off TV now that Kardashians is finished. And Demi Lovato's episode I liked as well. It was cool.
uh, so yeah, you mentioned you're not a great cook yourself. Are you on like the Hello Fresh or any of
Yes,
those things?
I do HelloFresh because Sean gets the shits when I cook if I don't have a recipe to follow because I just suck. So
Be fair.
he's the chef of the family, and I just stand there and be like, "Do you need help?"
Fair enough.
Yeah,
What do you think of those sort of HelloFresh things? They help?
I love it, especially when I'm at work. So Sean does like 12-hour shifts each day, and then I'm driving 2 hours each way sometimes. So for me, it takes the guesswork out of everything. Like you just get it delivered. It's healthy, it's portioned. Well, some of it's healthy, not all of it. And it's just easy to follow recipes and you have something new every week. Like we don't really double up meals. So I found when we were cooking our own, we were just having the same stuff.
The same seven things, just in a different
Yeah.
order every week.
Yeah, exactly. So it is good for variety and it's not too expensive. And yeah, we like it.
Did you find any recipes from this show that you might incorporate into the menus at home?
I don't I mean, look, I think the one where Sweetie's episode when they made those tacos, that actually looked really cool. Like it was like authentic. And I was like, that seems interesting. But to be honest, I'm not going to rewatch it and write down the recipe.
Did
Too
she
much
just?
effort.
Was it just food, or were there like cocktails and other stuff like that?
Um, she didn't have cocktails, but she had like a two course. So she had like dinner and then she had like her dessert thing. She made like profiteroles that had glitter over the whole thing. Like I don't know how edible it was, but definitely like she had steaks with glitter and like diamantes put into it. I don't know why,
What?
but
How do you even eat that?
don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it was very good.
Nice. I would like to see you like cook Diamond steak though. He enjoys his steak. I don't know how much he'd enjoy Diamante studded steak.
He won't let me cook steak because he has to have the perfect steak cooked and he can only do it his way. Yeah. Yeah.
If we're having steak, I'm cooking it.
Yeah.
Eat
That's
it, but
exactly
I'm
what
not
it's
going to
like.
be happy about it.
Even when I cook myself, he just stands over me and is like, "You're doing it wrong." I'm like, "If you want me to cook for you, back off." But anyway,
There's a Piper follow around in the kitchen when you cook, hoping
she
for the odd
does.
scraps.
Well, Sean makes her bacon and eggs for breakfast.
What?
Yes, I know. He's ridiculous. I don't. He
Jeez.
acts like he's all tough, and sometimes he's like, "Oh, do you want an omelet for breakfast, Piper?" So she gets very spoiled.
Does he have omelets and bacon and eggs, or is it
He
purely just
does.
Piper breakfast?
Sometimes it's just Piper breakfast, but sometimes he makes it for himself too. So
Okay. I don't think I'd blame him if he was just like cooking just a little bit extra and then giving it to her. But when I'm just gonna cook
he
breakfast for the dog.
he does do that. He does. He's a softie at heart.
Have you watched anything else?
Not really, to be honest. I've just been. Oh, actually, one thing I have watched is the new Gossip Girl.
Okay.
I It petered out for me. I've tried really hard to get into it. I liked the first 2 episodes, and then I was like, this is just teenage drama that I can't deal with. I'm too old for this.
Okay. Did you watch the
Yeah.
original?
Pardon?
Did you watch the original?
Oh, of course. I was obsessed. I was obsessed with the original. When we went to New York, we went on the Gossip Girl tour, like loved it. Loved Gossip Girl. Yeah, I know Sean was devastated about that. But the
Sean's
new
favorite day of the whole
version,
holiday.
yeah, yeah. The new version just it just doesn't have the same vibe to it. Like it's all brought into the modern era. They have texts, like they're using phones, they're talking about like the environment. They're trying to be a bit more like 21st century, like out in our era.
Mhm.
But and there's a new like the new Chuck dude is like he's gay and he's like trying to get teachers to have sex with him and all this like stuff. They're very rich, but then there's some of them that aren't trying to like I don't know. It's just
Just didn't hit
I
right.
mean, it just didn't hit right for me. I was like, nah, too old for this. Maybe the younger generation. Maybe I'm too old for that kind of stuff now. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember talking to Blake about it, and he was enjoying it, but he'd never seen the what he
Original.
said. So I think that
Maybe
probably
that's
helps.
definitely. I
If
think,
you've seen that first one, you kind of a bit burnt out when you come back.
yeah, definitely. I liked that the new take was that the teachers were Gossip Girl,
Oh,
and
interesting spin.
they're basically saying if the teachers are the Gossip Girl, they can basically bully the kids into being nice because they're rich and they get whatever they want. So they're trying to be like, if we can scare them into submission, like that's an interesting take. But I was also like, yeah, not landing for me.
Don't want to implement that strategy at your school.
Hell no. I'm
If,
not
I
that
feel like it would be,
invested.
feel like it would be a lot of work to sort of set up the whole gossip thing at a place without
Definitely.
anybody working it out.
Exactly.
Did you check out the Simone Biles movie,
I
Courage to
did.
Soar?
I did. I watched it one morning when I was eating breakfast. I didn't mind it, to be honest. It was pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I started watching it and I did not
Couldn't.
did not enjoy
I
it.
think, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend people going to watch it. I just put it on and I was kind of like, oh, this is actually quite interesting, her background story. But it wasn't like something that I'd say was highly entertaining. It was just interesting to see what her life was like. That's what I would say. Her story is interesting, but not the film.
Yeah, like I think it falls into that trap of being very clearly like a made for TV
Yes,
rather than
I agree.
a, a big budget solid production. It
Definitely.
And I think also because I went into it, I thought that it was more of a documentary rather than dramatization. I think that
Yeah.
first popped up. I was like, oh yeah, cool. I'll watch that. I'll see the documentary, everything that has happened in her life, and then started. And I was like, this is just
Yeah. And it would be interesting. I know it's probably a bit too traumatic, but like it cut off too early for like what's been happening in her life now. Do you know what I mean? I think that's why I was like interested to see it. and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't even touch on anything that's happened
Yeah, like it
in
kind
the."
of finishes right at the height of just
Yeah,
conquered everything, and then rather than, hey, what's going on like now with the opening up about mental health and stuff, that would
yeah,
be perhaps that would be better for like a big budget production, full
correct,
scale
yeah,
movie, and then that would be give it a bit more depth to.
yeah.
Um, and then the last one I watched was that sort of documentary idea. Checked out on Amazon Prime. There's a documentary called Hotel Coolgardie,
Okay.
which is one I've sort of been. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Sitting there like, or something, I was like, "What am I going to watch?" Like, not feeling like anything, any of like the movies. Like, I'm not invested in sitting down and watching a movie. I'd watched all the sort of TV shows that I've booked into for the week.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm going to chuck this documentary on, and whoa, what an eye opener.
Okay.
So it follows two Finnish female backpackers. They arrive in Perth and they're trying to earn a bit of cash to continue their journey around Australia. So they go to a work placement agency who then offer them a position at the hotel in Coolgardie, pub with bartenders.
Okay.
Coolgardie, very remote, rural, desert, bush, WA pub just outside of mining town.
Yep.
So
I
you
can
can
imagine.
imagine the
Yep.
clientele. It's just
Yes.
99% dudes,
Yep.
single, stuck in remote outback zone.
Yep.
So these poor girls cop a lot of crap,
They would. Yep.
full on. And so this pub, every 3 months, they just get two fresh barmaids.
Because they can only handle a couple of months of doing it, probably.
Yeah, probably. And because they're like two fresh new girls in the town, it's like become this big event of, oh, the new barmaids are coming. So then that becomes like a huge
Party.
moment
They
for
all
the
have to go.
town. Yep.
Yep.
And then it just devolves into all of the men that's like in a competition of like who can sleep with the barmaid first.
Right.
So it just gets full on. The even like the the manager of the hotel was like kind of a jerk.
Right.
He just throws these two girls in there who've had virtually, I think they might have had like a tiny little bit of experiences in bar work before, but like
Hmm.
nothing of like, hey,
No.
you're running a whole bar yourself.
And dealing with grown men who are drunk and have no other people around to be like, behave.
Hmm. Yeah, and like there really is no one to like tell them to behave because everyone's just behaving badly as each other.
Yes.
So it just gets crazy and it sort of devolves into this nightmare for the two girls. Their bosses are constantly just yelling at them. Like he's in there drinking the whole time and just yelling at them for like doing stuff wrong or being too slow or dude, it's like their first night in here. They don't know where anything is. They've never used this till before. Like
You can't, yeah,
you
expect them to know
can't
what to
expect
do.
them to be as good as the girls that just left who have been there for 3 months.
Yeah. What
And
a
it,
horrible way to introduce them to Australia too.
yep, yeah, not the greatest advertisement for Australian culture.
Yeah.
And like it's a pretty simple documentary. Like nothing sort of jumped out at me. It's overly shocking. Like I expected a lot of that. Like working in nightclubs and bars in the past, like you sort of see a lot
Yes.
of that, but I don't think anything to this level. Everyone's just as bad as each other, so there's no middle ground where someone's like, yeah, dude, that's too far.
That's,
Don't do that.
yeah.
Probably not as shocking as it should have been, but I think it's still one that people should watch. Sort of
Yeah.
think about like imagine if that was your daughter or your sister or
Hopefully,
something. Like
and hopefully those men from there looking back, like if they see the documentary going, oh wow, I definitely put them in a position and maybe change their attitude.
mhm. So yeah, that's basically everything for this week. What would be your top recommendation?
My top recommendation is definitely Cinderella. Go and check it out. I told everyone. I messaged people last night. I was like, "You need to go and watch this. It's actually so good."
Yeah, I think that would be one that and
Yeah, Jasmine
Tash
was
and
saying,
stuff.
yeah, definitely.
Especially like it's like I said, it's just that music. Like you go in and you sort of go, oh, okay, this is gonna be a regular sort of Cinderella, and then the music hits you like, oh, hang on,
This is cool.
this is something a bit different.
Definitely.
For me, I would suggest watching Hustlers if you haven't, like, just to see J Lo at 52.
Rocking it.
Really cool story. It's funny at times, and it's just like, whoa, strip clubs are scary places at times.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for listening and watching the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services here on Twitch and on YouTube. You can follow Leah on Instagram at l.poulton. And you can follow me on social media at JamYapsMedia and at Pario Magazine. Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of JamYaps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, shipped soon, by heading to Patreon at patreon.com/. Following people supported at the Jam publisher level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly. Ryan and June Hart, Courtney Paulson, Jackson Carr. Addy. Awesome. Thank you again,
Cool.
Leah.
No worries, apps. You have a good day.
You too. Have a good Father's Day.
Yeah,
Anything?
thanks. No. It's too far away. Yeah.